I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna
Apparently our friend on X.com, Air Gold. Why the fuck is CM Punk talking about bracelets and Taylor Swift in the middle of a supposed blood feud? Did he not hear the promo where he talked about he's basically Taylor Swift for men?
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic. Got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We're gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank
It's the Value Wrestling. I'm the big time Mr. Z. We're here with the indie god himself, Matt Cardona. This is real. The Choppy is about to go down. Let's see it. Oh.
This guy just paid me $50. Matt Cardona, check out the Value of Wrestling.
Cool. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's the Value Wrestling. This is your Monday night post-show review for August 19, 2024. Your Monday night post-show review. I'm here, the big time, as always, along with Paulus, Clarke, and we're here for another Monday night review show. We opened Raw with Randy Orton in the ring. He was talking about his upcoming match with Gunther at Bash in Berlin. Out comes Gunther. They go back and forth. Jaw-jacking. Orton looks to attack, but Ludwig Kaiser attacks him from behind. He and Gunther double team, making short work of Randy Orton, allowing Gunther to stand tall over a fallen Randy Orton as they build to their match at Berlin. Simple, basic opening. Building this storyline here, trying to build interest. And of course, it led to a Ludwig Kaiser Randy Orton main event match for tonight. Your thoughts, sir?
And just Gunther doing everything he can to try to help build this. I don't know. Randy Orton, to me, he's still obviously a big name, but I just don't know if he really creates interest promo-wise anymore.
I thought he was good on the mic. I thought it was, Randy doing the Randy thing. I don't think he needs to say as much as necessary. It's just about more of getting in the ring and doing the fight. Randy Orton is at least being built as a threat to Gunther when it's really hard to look down the roster and think of anybody who would be a viable threat to Gunther at this show to possibly take the title. So Gunther's going to come out victorious. We still want some type of viable threat for this match at Bash in Berlin, and not just somebody that's just simply really being bad. At least Orton gives us a little bit of a flavor, and they're selling that hardcore message that this could be Randy Orton's 15th title match. And for all you naysayers who think Randy Orton and John Cena are going to fight for the world title at WrestleMania 41, at John Cena's WrestleMania for the world title, when they're both at 16 titles, so one man can become, the 17th time and break the record. John Cena is not winning any titles in this last run. He doesn't want to win the world title in this run. His own words, so get over your freaking selves. All these idiots out here on the Twitters who are going, oh, Randy versus John Cena at WrestleMania for the world title, so they can beat the record. It's not happening. John Cena has no desire to beat Ric Flair's record right now, so no, it's not going to happen right now, and Randy isn't getting this title. It's not happening. Randy might get a title later on. He might get bumped into that 15, that middle one, but Randy's still got to win 2 more world titles to even be in 16.
Well, here's the real problem with John Cena breaking the record. It would do nothing for him.
No, not at
It doesn't
this point.
elevate if he does beat Ric Flair's record, so what's the point?
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's no bonus in it. Doesn't do anything for him, and he doesn't have any desire to. Anyways, from there, we're going to recap of Pete Dunne and attacking Sheamus last week. Jackie is with Sheamus, who has his hand wrapped. Sheamus is ready for a fight. This will be retribution. He's got some tricks to teach this young Thundercats, throwback to 80s cartoons. And then he asked Fort Lauderdale, are they ready for a banger? We got Sheamus and Pete Dunne in a good solid match, back and forth, exactly what you would expect from these two, trading blows for blows. Pete Dunne at one point shoving Sheamus's broken hand, injured hand, into the turnbuckle, something I don't think we've ever seen. He actually literally shoved it in between the metal part and the soft padding of the turnbuckle and kicked it. Sheamus ripped the turnbuckle off, the middle turnbuckle off, bringing his hand, hit a bro kick, got the 1, 2, 3. This match went 11 minutes, 33 seconds. It was a good match. I just think the wrong man won here. I don't know why you wouldn't let Pete Dunne get the win here. Love Sheamus and everything. It was a great match. Both these men brought it, but I would have really given the win to Pete Dunne here to create more interest in this storyline and to build this future feud going forward. Having Sheamus beat Pete Dunne is kind of like, okay, where do we go next? I don't know. We'll have to see what the follow-up, because this feud isn't over. It's far from over. It's going to continue, so we'll have to wait and see. Your thoughts, Mr. Clarke?
That, and on top of that, I don't see Pete Dunne going over tomorrow night either in the triple threat at NXT. So what are we doing with Pete Dunne is my next question. Like, where are we going with him now?
Pete Dunne's the heavy favorite to win that match to go face the world champion. Or the NXT champion, I should say. But he's heavily favored, and everything I've read is that he's the one that's going to win that match to face the champion. Now, he won't win the championship against all ego Ethan Page, but I mean, Pete Dunne might be the best thing. That would be a hell of a banger of a match. Pete Dunne and all ego Ethan Page would really help solidify Ethan Page as the NXT champion. So he may win tomorrow night to go on to, face the champion, but would he win the NXT champion? I'm highly doubtful of that right now. I think NXT is all ego right now.
This is right. I love the Wesley turn, but we're talking about Monday Night Raw tonight, so I like what they've been doing with Pete Dunne. So I'm really hoping they really figure out some kind of plan for him.
I think they have something. We just have to let it play out. It's just kind of a slow burn. I think, yes, Sheamus feud. We got to see this build to a new direction. I don't know what they're exactly doing here, and this loss kind of makes it a little more muddled, it feels like. But I think we have something that's brewing here. I'm sure in the end, Pete Dunne's going to come out looking very strong out of this, which I would hope would be the purpose of this build. But again, one of those wait and see moments. But yeah, I mean, out of the people fighting in that, and NXT's hot. I mean, you've got Joe Hendry making a lot of names. Ethan Page, all Egan Etho Page coming from AEW straight to NXT and becoming the NXT champion. It's giving a lot of heat weight. They could put Joe Hendry in that match and that win, but I don't know. Pete Dunne is heavily favored in that match too. I don't know. It depends what they're going to do with Joe Hendry. He's a hard guy that you can't keep bringing into NXT and keep letting him lose too many matches. He can win tag matches, but I mean, there's a lot there to talk about. There's a lot in the wrestling world that we didn't get to cover this week because of yesterday's SPW show. We didn't get to have a weekly roundup podcast, a rebound podcast. Roundup podcast. Damn it, I'm getting them all mixed up. Anyways, we didn't get to have the roundup podcast where there was so much to talk about because Tony Khan's still running his mouth talking about crying and boohooing all about WWE, and there's still contact tampering. And it's just like, really, you really that worried about it all? But anyways, this is your Monday Night Raw review. Maybe we'll get into some of that conversation at the end here. Maybe Mr. Z will get a free moment and want to join in an actual conversation and not a post-show review. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, we were backstage with the New Day and Odyssey Jones, the newest member of New Day, or not. Anyways,
not officially.
Not officially, no. But Jones is here. He's celebrating with his boy Kofi. Doesn't really seem to be boys with Xavier here. He leaves. Kofi asks Woods what's up. Woods confesses that he just wishes Kofi would have talked to him about Jones because no one can replace E. Kofi's like, I ain't trying to replace E. He isn't trying to bring Jones into the New Day. Remember they first came up how hard they were bullied and wish they had veterans to help them. Yada, yada, yada. And then Kofi basically tells him, it's all good. Woods goes, you know what? You're right. It's me. I need to work on it. And so we got some weird angle here between Woods and Kofi and Odyssey Jones. They're hinting at a possible heel turn for Xavier Woods. It could be interesting how they play it out. I don't know. I mean, New Day secondary. I think you need the tag teams, even though I'm kind of over New Day at this point, but I think you need tag teams to at least make the tag team division feel important. But we'll have to wait and see. Braun Breaker's your new ICW champion, and they give a video package about him where they make him look like a badass coming out of NXT, but he has done nothing on the main roster to feel that same importance. So you can give him the video package of what he did then, but you're not doing anything with him now to make him feel like he was then. And, of course, they show him using the Steiner Recliner NXT, which he doesn't use in WWE because he uses the most weak spear pretty much out of anybody on the roster right now. Your thoughts on your boy there, Braun Breaker?
It's hard. Yeah, I understand your take on why he does nothing for you as far as on the main roster. But those video packages, especially if they show them over and over, for some people, that does something for them. Some people will buy into that, which is why they do those video packages.
No, it's great, but it's like if you really study the video package, you go, why was he badass there, but we're not getting that same character here?
I don't have the power of the pen, so I couldn't tell you.
Anyways, we get a recap of Ivy Nile attacking Maxine last week. Ivy Nile was working out backstage. Here comes Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. The new team called American Made, excuse me. I just hear American Made, and I just keep hearing American males. I don't know what this thing is. Anyways, Ivy's here to proclaim that she gave Maxine the chance. Ivy's the real deal. She's the pit bull, and Maxine was holding her back. Gable says after Nile defeats Maxine, they will all handle the White Sick. And then they put their hands out into a shield wannabe, like, hey, yay, and we're American made. And I just hear American male. Oh, I hate this name. I don't know why they came up with American made. Go ahead and give them the Hulk Hogan theme. If you're going to call them that, they might as well be coming out to, oh, American made. Anyways, we get your basic match between Ivy Nile and Maxine here. Maxine Dupree. Ivy kicks out of the corner. She corners Maxine, and there's a whole breakdown here. And eventually, then the White Sick pop up for the first time. Sister Abigail's references says Nikki Cross playing Sister Abigail. All of a sudden, they're going to call her Nikki Cross finally. We knew who it was, but it's just kind of like they kept hinting at these things, but they would never call her Nikki Cross in the night. Without her even revealing who she is, we figured out it was Nikki Cross. That's what's interesting to me. For the longest time, we don't know who all these people are. Oh, we don't know. They played this dumb stuff on TV, and Nikki Cross hasn't unmasked herself, but all of a sudden, now we know it's Nikki Cross. Michael Cole has broken the fourth wall and given up the secret without even a mask reveal. Nikki Cross gets in the ring, then the American Maid gets in the ring, and then the rest of the White Six show up. They lead into a tussle. Nikki Cross attacks Ivy Nile. This breaks down to eventually Uncle Howdy, Sister Abigail, and Gable, leaving Gable laying in the middle of the ring while the White Six stand tall, leading to a match between Uncle Howdy in ring action for the first time next week against Chad cable.
I just don't understand why it took them so long to call Nikki Cross Nikki Cross. Like, we know who it is.
I know. I don't know what we're. It was weird, random tonight. Anyways, we got the Terror Twins making fun of the cheap Judgment Day, and I don't know how we're gonna do this match. We got Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. They're gonna team up at Bash and Berlin to take on Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can get behind this match because you have the Terror Twins who feel impressive, look impressive, and stand dominantly over Liv and Dominic Mysterio, and it's kind of like the visual sense. I'm like, I mean, you really got to make these heels heelish. I mean, there's got to be something you're going to give them to make you even think that they have a chance of winning. Because honestly, I think Dom and Liv have to win this match at Bash of Berlin. Because if the Terror Twins win, I mean, where do you really go with the feud? I'm kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this match, but I'm like, I guess they're really gonna have to do something to make this. I mean, tonight they did something later on that was, what you expect, but I'm like, I don't know how to look at this and look at Dom and Liv and the Terror Twins, and it's just kind of like visually and everything about it's just like, I can't get into it because I can't believe Dom and Liv can actually win, though they should win. I'm just kind of like, you guys got to really make me think that they can pull out some shenanigans, and maybe they decide to make it a no disqualification match or some shenanigan match. At least add the ability that the heels might get the win. But right now it's just like, on paper, I'm just going, the heels need this win, but I don't know how you make it believable.
You've already taken the words out of my mouth. 4 syllables. Shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's all this is going to be.
That's what it has to be, because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And Dom and Liv need the win here to continue this feud, to keep this feud going. They need to win. Otherwise, it's going to look stupid if the Terror Twins, which please, can we stop doing that? It was okay once, but to like make that a stamp of approval on them, I'm just. Oh
no, they're going to brand them that way. You know that already.
I know. I'm like the twin. We got the Twin Towers or Towers of Terror, and we had the Faces of Fear and all these other groups. Now I got the Terror Twins. I'm just like, At least Priest is throwing back some of his hardcore when he talks about punishment. Throwing back his old school phase there that we haven't heard from him in a long time. Anyways, we see CM Punk walking in the back before we go to break with a strap around him. After break, we come back and hear CM Punk. He wishes a happy birthday.
That wasn't foreshadowing.
We wishes, last week was a foreshadowing. We already called this. Anyways, he wishes a happy birthday to South Florida. He wants to congratulate the Panthers on winning the Stanley Cup. I should know. Oh, yes, and he's got the big leather strap. He lets them cheer for the Panthers a bit and says that he has news for us. Before we get to that, he wants to tell us a story. This weekend, he spent some time in New York City at the Fanatics Fest. Someone in the green room asked him about why is WWE on a hot streak right now. They asked why Punk thinks they're on a hot streak, and the answer is easy. It's you, the fans, as he says that. It's all of us. He met a lot of great fans. First person in line for pictures was this nice young lady in a wheelchair. She got up out of it, walked up to him, and told him that she just defeated cancer and that somehow Punk was a source of strength. Makes him think of his friends he knows fighting. Thinks of his friends he knows fighting cancer. He also met somebody from Taiwan. She said she flew 15 hours for just maybe 15 seconds with CM Punk. Also, a young guy who said he traveled 5,785 miles from Jordan just to see him. That means something to him. It means something to everyone in the back, but really means something to him because he missed us for 10 years. So he gets excited to come to Florida for the first time in a while to share some news. Fans like us that drive him, that take the time. He pulls out a bunch of bracelets fans made and says he is the Taylor Swift for men. And I kind of vomited in my mouth, and I'm probably the biggest CM Punk fan, but when he said that, it was like, I'm like, yeah, Punk, let's not brand that one, please. Okay, I love you, Punk. Support you on everything you do, but don't be the Taylor Swift for men. I just say no. It's a bad taste in my mouth.
Tell him where he's telling lies, though.
Anyways, bracelets like these are just like the ones Drew took off his body in his hometown. That's love, and let's talk about the hate. This brings out Drew McIntyre. Or talk about the hate. Drew McIntyre. Drew hates him. Wants nothing to do with him. Wants to wash his hands of him. Yet he wears a bracelet with his beautiful wife's name on it. Now here is the news. He made Drew a bracelet, and he talked to Pierce. And unless Drew is chicken at Bash in Berlin, we're getting a strap match. Drew McIntyre walks out slowly. He's not very happy. Drew has been thinking all week about what he's going to do to Punk. He's had all these fantasies of violence, and Punk challenges him to a strap match. He's got a question. Has Punk started drinking? If you know Punk, you know straight edge society. And if you know what that means, yeah, that's a sharp question there. Drew accepts. No conflict there, but that's next week. He needs a receipt for last week, so how about a little teaser? Lose the strap and let's give him a show. Punk questions losing the strap. A teaser was last week. Let's give him the full picture this week. Or Punk will give him the Punk offered to give Drew the strap in exchange for the bracelet. Drew pulled this bracelet off his hand, off his wrist, held it in his hands for a very minute. Said, "No way, you're a liar. You lied last week to get the best of me." Not a chance. Besides, AJ and Larry are safe on his wrist. Punk says, unlike Drew in Berlin. And so we're doing exactly what we thought. We're going to get a nice strap match. I think Punk is going to win this strap match to make the odds 1-1. And we're still going to go into Bad Blood. This is your Hell in the Cell match. There is no other match that is being built right now at that level that can be the Hell in the Cell match for Bad Blood. Now, granted, not Samoa Joe, I don't even know where I'm going. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, you could build over the next few months to be in a Hell in a Cell, and maybe they give us 2 Hell in a Cells at Bad Blood. That might be a little too much. I don't know. There's a lot of nostalgia of Bad Blood being where the first Hell in a Cell ever took place. You might be able to pull it off. We haven't seen a Hell in a Cell in a while, but if anything, Drew and Punk, 3 Hell in a Cell is where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. But the strap match, I'm glad WWE is letting the strap match come back. You know this is a Punk thing because Punk is Mr. Strap match, dog collar match. This is Punk's calling. This is Punk's calling back to the Independence days. Punk brought this into AEW even to get that going. This is a Punk match. This is old school wrestling. This is what Punk loves to do. It's going to be a strap match. Punk's going to come out the winner. Probably not a clean winner. This is probably going to be something where Drew screws up. Whether this is Drew carrying Punk around while he touches, you're going to have to touch all the turnbuckles here. This isn't a pin strap match. This is a beat your opponent so you can touch all 4 posts. So what I'm assuming is going to happen here, because you need this win to be a Punk win, but just barely. And I think the best way to do that is Drew's probably going to have a lot of this match dominated, and in the end, he's going to drag Punk around. He's going to be touching the 4 corners. Punk's going to do the same thing. And when it comes down to the last one, Punk's going to touch that corner and get the win, which is going to upset Drew, and that's how we're going to lead to the 3rd match. This is Punk's match. But Punk usually gets his butt beaten in any type of strapped or dog collar match. Doesn't always. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses those matches. But this is a match where I think you're really going to see. You're going to see Punk in the beginning unload on Drew, but in the end, I think Drew is going to come out looking like, Punk's going to look like he went to the whooping shed pretty damn bad. But Punk's going to squeak out that win because of Drew's stupidity, and that's going to be the story. We already have kind of that story there. I think this is what you're going to see. But Drew's still going to Punk's going to may get this win barely. He may come close to getting his bracelet back, but he's not going to get the bracelet back at Bash in Berlin. Punk's going to stand tall on top of a Hell in a Cell with that. Punk's going to stand tall on the top of the Hell in a Cell with that bracelet. That's your closing moment. That's your closing victory. When Punk gets a full, clean win to finally overcome Drew. That's why I say I think in this match, Punk can get the win, but I think Drew is going to be is going to come out looking better in the match. Like he control most of the match, but it's going to be that old adage where Drew's all cocky and touching the post, and at the last minute, Punk's going to flip him out, touch the post, and win it. And Drew's going to be like, what? You're going to leave that scenario because that opens the door of why you need that 3rd match. It still makes Punk look like the underdog who barely slipped by, and what's going to happen in a Hell in a Cell, and then go, oh boy. And we know if there's a Hell in a Cell with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they're probably going to wind up on top of that cage.
I would hope so. Like you said, it's a great visual, that lasting visual.
But I think Punk standing on top of that cage with his bracelet at the end of the match is another great visual too.
Oh, absolutely.
Drew and Punk are great together. Love it. Best storyline in WWE since WrestleMania. Is there anything you want to add to their segment?
I don't think there's anything I can.
No, I can see where this goes. I hope Triple H is watching. I think this is what you need to do. Punk in the strap match. This is Punk's match. Yes, I think Punk will win, but it definitely to me, and I'm a big Punk fan, so don't get it twisted. Like, I love Punk. I love Punk to whoop the snot out of Drew McIntyre and come out clean, but I also know the realistic vision that you need after this match is to go, he won, but did he really win? And that's where we need to leave that question. That's where you need to give Drew that ability to come back and go, you may have won the match, but I beat you all over the arena. I'm still better than you.
So you're showing your bias, though. You understand the business side of things to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm a fan of both guys. I'm like, you know who wins? The fans win.
Yes, no,
Let them
I
just go
bottom
at it,
line, yes.
whether it's promos,
And
whether
I
it's in the
love
ring.
Drew. Everything Drew's doing, glad he re-signed with WWE. I love Drew, but in this match, I'm always going to go with Punk. But in the realistic realm, I'm like, Punk has to come out with the barely winning, so Drew can be like, did you really win? Did you really beat me, or did you just get lucky?
That asterisk, that seed of doubt.
Because that's going to lead to your third match, which will light Punk on fire for a Hell in a Cell. And then we'll get the Punk we're dying to see. He will come unglued. We're going to get independent level Punk there.
Oh, okay, so for a second, I thought we were going to go AEW on our asses, talking about light him on fire. What are we
No. We're not having Darby out. I'm talking about, we're probably going to get Punk Drew in a Punk Cassius Ono tear down the house in, what was that company? I something. I forget what it was, where they were tearing down the bar and it was the last match. Yes. That's the level that I think you're going to get Drew and Punk at Bad Blood in Hell in a Cell. And that's going to be a vicious Hell in a Cell. That's going to be weapons. Both of these men are going to bleed. It's going to be bleeding buckets of blood. It's going to be a match. It's going to be in Hell in a Cell. It's going to go down in infamous history. It's going to go down in infamy. Yeah, you know what I mean? Anywho, Liv and Dominic, they give their promo. It's what a Dom and Liv promo is. And not much to say on that. Anyways, we had the tag match, the New Day tagging up with the finally make this TV debut, in-ring debut of Odyssey Jones, and they're taking on the Final Testament. This was one of those matches where it was kind of back and forth. In the end, Odyssey Jones, Xavier Woods did pull off he flew over the referee and over 3/4 of the ring. I don't know if somebody was out of place or whatnot. He climbed up on the top rope on the far side, jumped off of that over the bent over referee, who hit one of the authors of pain, who was like 3/4 of on the other side of the ring. If nothing, Xavier Woods knows how to get that air. Because, he literally flew all the way across the ring and over a ref to hit an elbow. And it definitely looked like somebody was out of place. There was a miscue there. In the end, Akam gets caught, and we get the Journey's End, or the Black Hole Slam, whatever you prefer to call it, from Odyssey Jones. 1, 2, 3. Odyssey Jones picks up the win. He celebrates with Kofi. Xavier seems a little more okay with the win, more understanding, but still has this weird, I don't know, you thought maybe he was going to turn heel tonight. I guess this is going to be a slow burn as something happens. Odyssey Jones looked really weird in his singlet tonight. It just wasn't the right colors. I'm like, couldn't they at least put him in green? At least match the New Day or something? It was like such a vast color difference. It was really just like, and it didn't look good on him. That's not a good color on him for whatever reason. It looked, maybe it was just generic feeling. I don't know. It was just weird. He didn't look aesthetically pleasing to me.
Yeah, it had a generic feel for sure.
Yeah, it just, I can't explain it, but I just looked at him and it was just like, he feels so out of place in that singlet. It's like, yeah, they should have color coordinated a little bit, or at least give him greens, or a red or a purple, something. But in that baby blue, it just was like, no. But Odyssey Jones picks up a win. I'm disappointed. I thought the Final Testament should have picked up this win, maybe pinning Xavier Woods. can we let Final Testament do anything besides eat losses? I mean, did they piss somebody off? Are they, did they fail in wrestler's court? What the hell is going on with Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain? You want to give me this Final Testament? And I'm like, I like this. I like what this could be. There's something here. You've got a lot of elements to this that can make this a bad ad stable, and they're on the level of what the Pride was until Bobby Lashley left. And now it's just like, you look like you're turning Kofi, or you're looking like you're turning Xavier Woods, but you're still making Karrion Kross and this Final Testament look like the final ending to their storyline, and AOP is going to be gone from WWE again soon. I don't know. I don't like the losing. I get you need Odyssey Jones with this win. There was just too much in this match. Just didn't in like you didn't get any big changes from whatever's going on with Xavier. So we got to wait for that to burn. Odyssey Jones was not as impressive as they're trying to sell him in this match. Hopefully he gets a little better in ring. And then a loss to the Final Testament. It's just like, okay.
I was kind of wondering, though, if they wanted to take a little bit from history, the Journey's End, I'm surprised they didn't call it like the special delivery by Odyssey Jones.
It's the Black Hole Slam. Where's a bitch when you need him?
Oh, if you want to go just a little bit further, at least we call it the Boss Man Slam.
Yeah, it's the Boss Man Slam too, yeah. But I'm not impressed by Odyssey Jones yet. I don't know if they're going to do something with Xavier. Please don't make this a long milking thing, because Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are not main event. Like their storyline is not high quality. It's there, but it's like if you let it simmer too long, it's just kind of like, oh, who cares? Because you know what? They're not presented in a way that makes you really passionately care about them.
I thought where you were going to go with that comment and what you actually wound up are two different things. So I was going to say Kofi Kingston's been a main event player before, but you're right. The current story, yes, absolutely not.
No, he's been a main event player. Kofi was hot in a lot of different eras. Kofi's had a lot of hot streaks. He had a great feud with Randy Orton back in the day, before New Day. Then when New Day came out, New Day was hot. Xavier Woods finally kind of found a place. But in the current, and of course, Kofi got the world title. It's a world champion. He's been a main eventer. He's been there. But in the current iteration of what New Day is, they have a storyline, so they're present on TV, but it's not really pushed as a prominent, like, let's get excited about this storyline. And again, I don't know if it's a little too late, and I don't know I mean, Xavier Woods might be a great heel. I don't know if he's ever been anywhere heel. Mr. Clarke would probably know that a little better. So it's really hard for me to say if Xavier Woods is the one turning here. What are we going to get, and what does Xavier Woods do on his own? Because he's never been presented pretty much anywhere that I could talk about where he's been really like a high-level competitor. Like,
I mean, he's had singles matches, but you're right, not high level now.
No, not like if he turns heel and he's by himself, does that really help him? Now, if he turns out to be this amazing heel and can get over as a heel, more power to him, but I'm more like, I don't know if I have the faith because I haven't seen it, for one. Not to say Xavier Woods can accomplish it, because he's smarter than both me and the man sitting here with me tonight. I mean, the man has a PhD, so I mean, he's got more education, so, I will give him that. So, I mean, he may know the psychology. I think he has a PhD in psychology. I forget. But I know he understands the psychology of all this, so he may be a great heel. But again, I don't know if you can ever get Xavier Woods to stand alone and feel like anything.
I feel like they had the opportunity when he was King of the Ring. They just were not going to pull the trigger for whatever reason.
Well, it was one of two things. It was like King of the Ring was a perfect opportunity to let him stand on his own, but you also knew it was a consolation prize for all his hard work. That they only brought it back because he complained loud enough. Mm-hmm. And then it was a consolation prize that he wanted, and it was kind of a little bit of disappointing because it was just like, he just gave it to him because he asked for it, and it was like, I get everything he's done. It was a moment or something to put in his legacy, but I'm still like, it was still kind of one of those, it's like one of the weaker King of the Ring moments. I mean, you look at some of the King of the Rings, he might just be that one step above Mabel. As you know.
I put him over Mabel. I put him over Billy Gunn.
Oh yeah, I forgot Billy Gunn was King of the Ring. That's how bad that one was. That one got erased. I usually remember Mabel because it was the worst of the worst of the worst. Because you're just like, and then he turned heel, and you're just like, what? Been on the mission as heel, and Mabel was king, and it hurt your head. And then you were glad that when Visitor came back, that it kind of erased that Mabel, but you were still like, hey, it's Mabel. And then you had Big Daddy V, and then it was just really over the top, and you're like, okay. But yeah, Mabel. I forgot Billy Gunn was King of the Ring. But I mean, Xavier Woods would be what, just maybe above those two. I mean, we know what Sheamus, Baron Corbin. At least Baron Corbin, they did something with it. Sheamus felt legitimate. Stone Cold, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Macho Duggan, King Haku, King Harley Race. The only person who's never won a King in the Ring was King Jerry Lawler, but he was just the king.
That's because he didn't really need it.
Yeah.
Because he was already the king. So it's like,
I'm curious. That's negative. Okay. Come on. Don Morocco was the King of the Ring in 1985. Harley Race in 86. The Macho Man became the Macho King in 87. Ted DiBiase was the King of the Ring winner. Tino Santana in 89. Then Bret Hart in 91 and 93. Owen Hart 94. Mabel, the worst of them all, in 95. Stone Cold in 96. Triple H in 97. Even Ken Shamrock was King of the Ring in 98. I thought that was right, but I had to check. Billy Gunn, Kurt Angle, Edge, Brock Lesnar, Booker T, William Regal, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Baron Corbin, and then Selena Vega and Xavier Woods. Yeah, I would have to say Mabel, Billy, and then that's Rick. Unfortunately. Not that he's not talented and has a lot of skills. It's just he's never been somebody that's prominently featured, and he's more the video game guy. And that's where his forte is. So I'm like, him going heel, I'm like, I hope they have something really planned for him in whatever's going on if he's going to turn heel, because if not, then it's just going to be a waste of all of this. It's going to be I mean, if you're going to split New Day up at this point, which, granted, I've been a big component of saying New Day either needs to change in direction or needs to split up for different elements, because it's just like the New Day Rock thing's kind of like, okay, over the power of positivity, I'm kind of done with it. I want something new. I'd be excited to see Kofi Kingston try to play heel, because I don't think he's ever been heel. I think he's always been a babyface in everything he's done. But give me Xavier Woods as a heel, and we'll see how it goes, I guess.
See, I have more faith in Xavier Woods going heel, because if they pull the trigger, he can trash talk.
I
believe in the ring.
I believe in him. I just don't believe in the booking that's going to give him the opportunity to really shine. That's the thing, because he has never been presented as somebody up there. I mean, it's kind of like the way they destroyed Corbin. Of course, that was more under redacted. It was like Corbin was great when he was Lone Wolf. Then he came to the main roster, and they juggled him around. There's talent there, but the way they book him, and it's like, okay, Xavier Woods could get over heel, I'm pretty sure. I think he has a lot of skills. He's really good. He knows psychology really well. I think he could on his own merits. It's like, but are they really going to give him the time, the spotlight to shine, to feel like it's important, that it justifies what they're doing?
Because we don't have the power of the pin, unfortunately.
Oh, yes. So. Anyways, we are backstage with Miz and Pierce. Pierce is trying to talk Miz out of this match with Reed. He wants to suspend Reed, but the only reason he hasn't is because Miz wants this match. And Miz goes, I don't want this match, but he has to have the match because it's for his friend. He's fighting for our truth. And we get a no DQ match between Bronson Reed and The Miz. The Miz plays out the fact that it's no DQ match and tries to slip away from Bronson Reed. He keeps getting quick moments where he thinks he's going to get it, but eventually Miz tries a skull-crushing finale into a table, only for it to be reversed by Reed into a Death Valley driver into the table. Then a big tsunami off the top rope. Bronson Reed gets the win in 8 minutes, 13 seconds. This was the match that you expected to be the way it was. It was Miz basically being babyface heel. Tried all these little shenanigans and every weapon that he could to do what Miz does best to get the win, and the big man Bronson Reed finished him off. Bronson Reed, after the match, goes up for another big tsunami, and the music hits, and we see the return again of Braun Strowman. And I know Mr. Z got excited. He got happy when he heard about two big men in the ring ready to beat it. As Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman went face to face. This looks like what we're going to get in the future. This may be a good place to push Bronson Reed. If Bronson Reed can come over the big Braun Strowman, this could be a good thing. But I'm sure silently somewhere, Mr. Z is chanting, meat, 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 meaty meat, 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 meaty meat, 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 meaty meat, meat, meat. Yes, even when you're not here on the show, I know you're still listening. We love you, though. Me and Mr. Z had a great time last night, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't at Supreme Pro Wrestling in Elk Grove at Lemonade, Supreme Pro Wrestling Lemonade, if you weren't there, you missed out on some of the best action. We got to see Mustafa Saeed, ECW legend, was there and had a great match. We got to see the return of Drake Frost, an amazing amazing competitor in the ring with some action. Sir Samurai was in action in a great match. A lot of great matches, a lot of stuff that went down. We saw the SPW World title on the line. The champion retained his title. Olamide, I think it's the name. We got to learn these names a lot better. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time at Supreme Pro Wrestling. That was in Elk Grove at their kind of their unofficial home. Normally, I believe it's the third Sunday of each month. They take over the indoor soccer arena there in Elk Grove for some SPW action. And of course, if you haven't known, we're going to tell you right now, we will be back with Supreme Pro Wrestling Saturday, August 31st, when Supreme Pro Wrestling takes over the California Automobile Museum with Supreme Pro Wrestling Cruising. Yes, Value Wrestling will be there. We're going to be live. We're going to be doing all of our great stuff. Hopefully our audio will be a little better. I think we're figuring out these little things. We're going to dig a little deeper into a couple things to make sure we have it fine-tuned, but I think we know what the path to the issue is. So hopefully the issue will be a little better this time. But we're going to be there. That's going to be fun. And then again, they'll be live in Elk Grove on September 15th, if I remember correctly, with their next Supreme Pro Wrestling event in Elk Grove there at the soccer arena. I believe it has a name. It's been a hot minute since I looked over here. Cruising for a Bruising is on August 31st at the California Automobile Museum. I promise you I can pronounce that. It's at 2200 Front Street in Sacramento, California. Doors open at 5 p.m. Bell time is 6 p.m. $20 is general admission. You can go to the Facebook group, or you can go to Supreme Pro Wrestling on Facebook, or you can go to eventbrite.com and look up tickets for them. Yes, Supreme Pro Wrestling will return to the Soccer World Indoor Arena in Elk Grove, California on Sunday, September 15th. For Plead the Fifth, Supreme Pro Wrestling will bring you Plead the Fifth. It was a fun old time in there. But yeah, Lemonade was a great show. We got to see some great matches, and we'll get to that in just a second. We'll talk a little more about that. But we're going to get through this. So Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed had their little face-off there. Mr. Z is not commenting, so I guess he's in good shape. We didn't saw Sheamus backstage. His hand's a little beat up, but he's going to go have a nice glass of a Guinness of the dark stuff. The little twig man of Ludwig Kaiser came up and made threats, and Sheamus said, yeah, if you want to do the dance again, we can do the dance again. So look for their feud to continue, maybe in the Bash of Berlin. Captain Kelly's backstage with Braun Breaker, who says he's intelligent. There will be a tournament for the IC title coming up. Of course, Pierce is trying to slow him down. It's not his fault. He's a badass. Whatever. He earned this title. Have the tournament, but the poor soul that wins it has the nerve to stand in front of him. He will spear the man through the floor and give him the beating of a lifetime. Okay, when you can spear a man through the floor and make that spear feel dominant, feel severe, feel like it's painful, then I'll buy you into you. But otherwise, your spear sucks, Braun Breaker. And I'll prove it. I will bring Mr. Z, and we can start the Spear World Tour, the Spear World Tour, along with the Choppy World Tour. I will let you spear Mr. Z until you can show me that your spear is actually effective. So, yeah. Mr. Z, of course, he always...
I don't know if Mr. T's gonna agree to that one.
Mr. Z's always in agreement when he's not here to defend himself. That's already agreed upon it because we get to vote by proxy, and it's a yay, 2 yays. So yes, we hear you. Yes, Mr. Z totally agrees. He's talking in my ear right now. Mr. Z's not even in the chat. He's not even commenting. He may have had a heart attack by now. So, there was 2 big meaty men.
Right.
We talked about that. That might have sent him over the edge.
Oh Lord.
But hey, Mr. Z, it's okay. All the love in the world.
But coming back to Braun Breaker, if you have to sit there and try to say you're a badass, like badass show it. They don't say, "Oh, I'm a badass."
Exactly.
You're not branded as a bad. It's not a brand. It's not a marketing thing. It's something that you feel based on actions. So the fact they're trying to brand him as a badass, I'm like, WWE, you are failing. You are failing so hard.
Are we sure somebody else isn't booking Braun Breaker?
Oh, makes you wonder.
Wonder. Anyways, yes. Braun Breaker's here. You're not a threat. I don't buy you as this. You're the Intercontinental Champion, and I'm like, the champion's trying to make the man, and I don't think it's going to pay off. Anyways, Triple H, give me some jobbers against the Intercontinental Champion. He needs to be out there every week defending that Intercontinental Champion against, nobodies. Names that are irrelevant. I mean, let him run through jobbers in 5-second squash matches. I mean, it needs to be Goldberg-esque WCW style matches to rebuild Braun Breaker, even with the Intercontinental Champion. If you want to be viable, he needs to start running through everybody. You need to feed him people that he can easily run through until he comes to that wall of a real challenge with somebody. Who that is, I don't know right now, but you can definitely find that. Anyways, Dominic Mysterio's here to make his entrance. He's going to take on Priest. Of course, Carlito comes out to attack Priest. Balor, JD, all the Judgment Day is out here. Rhea's out here. Here comes Liv. Oblivion to Riv. Finn with a few more stomps. And in the end, when we return, Finn has a message for Priest and Rhea that it was just simply what will happen at the Bash. Priest was champ because of them. Now he is not. Liv says at Bash, Liv will make Rhea her BITH. This is what you expected. This is kind of what's going to help them. Shenanigans to beat down the Terror Twins from Judgment Day. But I don't know what we're going to do with this match. Hopefully, maybe you know what you do. Maybe you throw everybody in that match. You put the Terror Twins against all of Judgment Day in this match. Why? Because visually that balances out the powers a little more. Because then it makes the babyface Twin Terrors look like they are the underdogs. Now they're taking on Carlito, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. And so how do they compete against that? So maybe you make it against all of Judgment Day after this beatdown. There's got to be something here that we can bite on. And it's still, no matter what it is, I think even if it comes down, the heels have to win this match. You need this feud to continue. You need this storyline to progress. The babyfaces get a win here. It's kind of like, meh.
Then all you're asking is what's the next thing for the baby faces?
Yeah.
At least if you continue the feud, you're continuing the story.
Exactly. The women's tag team titles are on the line as Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn defend the titles against the Pure Fusion Collective of Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. I think it was Shayna and
Zoe.
Shayna and Zoe taking on Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn. They were representing Pure Fusion Collective and Damage Control, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. This was what you thought of a match. All over the place. Sane still dies, but Shayna with the boots up clutches Sane, backstabber from Dawn. She holds on. Shayna still has Sane able to Alba to the top rope, swanton onto all of them, cover 1, 2, 3. Alba Fire and Dawn retain the titles, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. This match was match. I don't know if I can say a whole lot about it. It was 3 women in a tag match. This is going to go on some more. The story's not over. I'm still having a hard time all of a sudden trying to swallow Damage Control as the baby faces. You understand? Damage
That's
Control
fair.
was the baby face of this
I thought
match tonight. Not that they were bad at it. It's still just hard to go. You guys ran crazy forever now, being this heel group, and now, like, with no reason except that this feud happened, that they kind of basically switched to baby faces based on people mostly hate Sonya Deville. And that's the only thing it is. People hate Sonya Deville more than Damage Control. Because I don't know if Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks, without Sonya Deville, they may have been more of the baby face and more love, but since you put them with Sonya Deville, they become the heel stable.
Mm-hmm.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are still a young middle. I mean, they're heel in some aspects. They're kind of that tweener walk. But the baby faces of this match, the fans were definitely behind Damage Control all of a sudden. The Sky Pirates.
Which, besides the fact that, like you said, right. Besides just them being randomly babyface, it's like they're down a few members. Yep. So I think part of the sympathy is also the fact that they're down to two girls.
Yep.
They're like, okay. So now they're fighting from underneath. When you talk about you're talking about Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. I'm still getting used to their stable name. Pure Fusion Collective. Pure Fusion Collective. I cannot get used to that. That sounds so generic.
It's better than what the internet calls them.
I'm leaving that alone.
Yeah.
Especially if you're reading on X.
Yep. Anyways, that match
They don't even call Isla Dawn and Alba Fire the Unholy Union anymore, really. Like, they'll mention it every once in a while in commentary. But they were, like, in NXT, they were branded that way. Yeah. Now, on the main roster, it's like, no, this is what they're. But they are still the Women's Tag Team Champions.
Yes.
So, if nothing else,
that's what you win. And, of course, they have their third teammate in Priestley.
Oh,
right? No, what's her name?
No. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name myself, though.
Anyway, so I
feel stupid though when I read it.
When he figures that out, we were backstage with Jey Uso. He talked about Jey Uso stuff. Is he going to get Usi again? The possibility of teaming with Sammy. Sammy told him just because Sammy can't be champion doesn't mean Jey can't be one. We didn't get a video package of this year of Pat McAfee. As it was announced, Pat McAfee is leaving for College Game Day. Said he'll be back in a couple months. Michael Paulus crying tears tonight as his best friend, his bromance, his right hand man, Pat McAfee is leaving. Will be on the commentating team after the night. But anyways, yeah, Pat McAfee is leaving Raw. But yes, no.
And on top of this, my internet's been slow.
Blair Davenport.
That's it.
All right. Blair Davenport is the third team of the Unholy Union, or the newest member. Anyways, now that we
figured that out, that 6-man or 6-woman tag team on SmackDown.
Blair Davenport. There you go. Be happy. We figured it out. Now Mr. Clarke can live life in peace and not be haunted all night trying to figure out that name. When he wakes up at 4 in the morning, he goes, Blair Davenport. And then, yeah, he's like, fuck. Anywho, the main event, Randy Orton versus Luke Kaiser. Shoes, please. Luke Kaiser, Randy Orton. It was pretty much that type of match. Kaiser definitely got a little bit in here. Gunther tried to come out and help interfere. In the end, Randy Orton to the corner, suplex, striping DDT. Orton hears the voices. Kaiser stands. RK, no. Roll up, 1, 2, no. Kaiser up, RKO, cover, 1, 2, 3. This match went 14 minutes, 28 seconds. A good match, good solid match. Gunther goes in to attack Orton after it. and they were fighting as the show went off the air. But overall, it was a match. It was a Randy Orton-Kaiser match. Randy Orton getting the win. You knew that was going to happen. Randy Orton's got to go good going in to face off Gunther.
Oh, absolutely.
At least Randy Orton and Gunther in the ring looks viable. I buy Randy Orton as a threat to Gunther's title run, though he's not winning. It's still better than some of the other people they might have been able to put in there right now that would have been like, yeah, they're definitely not winning. You know, at least it's better than we're running back we're not running back a Gunther versus Damian Priest already. You know, it's like some of these people, you know, it just wouldn't work.
Or they could do something even sadder than that and toss an, I don't know, R-Truth, had he not been, storyline written out.
Well, it could be
someone you know that was not going to win the title.
At least we're not having a tournament where the Miz is winning and the Miz is going to go against Gunther. We're just like, hey, we're not getting Kofi Kingston getting another title shot to continue the turn with Xavier Woods because Kofi's getting another title shot and he's not. I mean, there's a lot of people there that you could like throw in these matches and you're just kind of like, no, but at least Randy Orton, even though Randy's not winning, that I know, but at least it feels like there's a threat there. At least there's a viable threat. Sure. I could at least argue why Randy Orton might win, even though I know he's not winning. Gunther just won this title. It's in Berlin. Gunther's going to stand tall at the end of this. But Randy Orton's going to make him look like a bad mama jamma. He already looks bad, but Randy Orton's really going to give him a push to that next level where he's going to be a viable threat. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Gunther didn't beat Randy so severely that maybe Randy went away for a little way on kayfabe injury, and Gunther said, I took out Randy. Now I'm the legend killer.
Actually, not a half bad idea, really, honestly.
No, I mean, you could have some fun with Gunther going through and being a legend killer. I mean, this could bring in some legends for him to beat around on for fun and shenanigans and make him the legend killer, which definitely could bring you back to a Randy Orton-Gunther match at some other later date. Could be fun. Anyways, that was your Raw. That was your coverage of Monday Night Raw for August 19th. Monday Night Raw, really awesome, really great. But yes, if you didn't know, me and Mr. Z were at SPW Eliminate last night, which was a great show. Mr. Z, where are you? Why aren't you here?
Mr. Z, where are you? You got some work to do
now. Where are you? Anyways, Supreme Pro Wrestling had a great show. It was Eliminated. It was in the Elk Grove. It was the indoor soccer arena, and we will be at the next show on August 31st. Cruising for a Bruising at the California Automobile Museum, the State Museum, 2200 Front Street, Sacramento, California. Come out for that. Tickets are $20. Get an event rider at the door. The house was packed. This was one of the best crowds I've seen in an independent show. This crowd was lively, chants all night long, nonstop, in the mood to watch some great wrestling action. And we're going to get to see some great wrestling action in some classic cars at the California Automobile Museum when it's Cruising for a Bruising, and SPW is leading the way. This is going to be a great partnership. We got pretty much almost like free reign. They invite us anytime we want to show up. We got a shout out while we were there. They let us know that we were there, and they were happy for us to be there. It was exciting. The matches were off the chain. We opened with a what would it be? A triple threat three-way, or a triple tag three-way, whatever they call that. Anyways. We had Rock and Rodeo Express get a big teaming up with Voice Le Grande. They got the win, defeating Sir Samurai, Eliza Hammer, Bobby Callahan, and then the team of Jack Terry, Brick, and Jason Xavier. The following after that, we saw the return of Jake Frost, who came out and helped Sir Samurai, Eliza Hammer, and Bobby Callahan after they were getting attacked. He comes down and gives the notification that he's been medically cleared, and they asked for a challenger, and we got Jake Hollister come out and take on Drake Frost. Drake Frost getting a big win there. Of course, then we got to see ECW legend Mustafa Saeed, one half of the former legendary tag teams, the Gangstas. Yes, this is the man who teamed up with the legend of his own. And his name just went out my mouth before I could say it. New Jack, Mustafa Saeed and New Jack were former tag team, not former tag team. I don't know if they were tag team champions in ECW, but they were one of the big tag teams. I believe they were also a tag team in Smoky Mountain Wrestling until even James E. Cornette didn't know what to do with them anymore. But Mustafa Saeed getting a big win over Patrick Fitzpatrick. Franco Vargo got a win over Chima, known as the Punjabi Lion. Yes, it's Punjabi Lion. Chima was there in a great match. Franco Vargo gave him much respect after the match. It was a lot of fun. From there, I was introduced, I guess Mr. Z, as he tried to say in our show, he knew who Jekyll's was. Jekyll's was a big name in the Bay Area, I guess, and he took on Truex in a very highly contested match. Go ahead, you have something to add.
The Gangsters were two-time ECW Tag Team Champions.
There you go, the Gangsters, Mustafa Saeed and New Jack, a tag team. If you want to go back and watch true gangsters in wrestling, they were true gangsters in wrestling in a whole different way. Anyways, we got to see Jekyll's, and he defeated Truex in a great match. Jekyll's an interesting character, for sure. Then we had a four-way match in the co-main event where Daniel Torch got the win over Anthony Nova, Guadalupe, and Blaze. So you had the Torch, the Nova, the Guadalupe, and Blaze. That was an interesting match, and that was a high-flying match. They were all over the place, inside and outside the arena. These guys were amazing. Goldmine retained his SPW championship in the main event against Mark Lewis, the Flying Lion. Yes, Mark Lewis, the Flying Lion. He showed off some of those amazing Flying Lion skills. Of course, after the match, Goldmine headed for the locker room and was attacked by Jekyll's and knocked him out. So all that went down yesterday at SPW Supreme Pro Wrestling Lemonade. Setting up for a lot of things coming up at SPW's Cruising for a Bruising, as it will debut at the California Auto Museum on August 31st. So I thought I'd run down that card to get that all cleared up. I wish Mr. Z was here because it was a lot of fun, and I wish he could be here. Oh, he's here. Mr. Z, why aren't you talking about this? Are you free to get on air? Do you want to get on air? I can switch this over, and you could join us if you like. But anywho, they were Smoky Mountain Tag Team. Yes, I thought the Gangsters were Tag Team Champions in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I don't know if the Gangsters and the Thrill Seekers ever had a match. That would be interesting to figure out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so we'll throw it way back. If you want to go way back in the day, the Thrill Seekers, the team of Chris Jericho and Lance Storm. Yes, that Lance Storm were a team in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
If I could be serious for a moment.
Yes, if I could be serious for you can? Okay, well, click on the chat, join in the conversation. Let me, if you get mounted up, let me switch over here. Why is nothing all of a sudden deciding to work for me? It's over.
What are we, regulators now? Mount up?
Regulators, mount up. Let me open this and see if we can get this situation fixed. And we'll switch it over to this screen. Give me 1 second. Why are we? Okay, there we go. And let me get an adjustment here before we get started. Yeah, I know everybody's looking at a funky wonky screen. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get everybody on here. We're going to transfer this over to a different screen. Mr. Z, welcome to the show this evening. Thank you for joining us. I know you couldn't join us.
Say his name, and he shall appear.
We're not going to talk about that guy. That's no. Let's not go there. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yes. Welcome on board. Welcome on board. You know, you couldn't join us for Raw. You were taking care of personal stuff earlier, and that's great. And we always understand that and completely understand that. But we're here, so let's roll this over into a little different type of a show here. Guess we can just discuss everything wrestling unless somebody's ready to go or somebody needs to do something else. Mr. Clarke, if you need to step away for a minute, feel free. Me and Mr. Z will take the show. I don't know if you need a brief break or...
I'm all right for the time being.
If you're good to go, we're going to go into this because I definitely have that high point I want to talk about. Well, let's get back into SPW. Mr. Z, tell us your thoughts. Tell the audience. Tell the fan base how you felt about Supreme Pro Wrestling. I mean, I've been hyping it up.
I mean, first off, thank you, Scoop, for opening your doors to us.
Yes,
SPW, we thank you. And pretty much giving us the open door for the next event, which is beautiful. I mean, the other wrestlers were huge supporters of us being there. The ring announcer was giving us our flowers, letting the world know we were there.
Yes,
which was great. So the fans would come, Like, look, come on. Seen some
Hey.
of your faces, Boyce LeGrant, the the metal mechanic, which was cool.
Yes.
Seeing those guys coming to say hi, talk to us for a second. Jekyll's, you brought him up.
Yes.
Jekyll's is multiple time all pro wrestling, APW legend, multiple time champion, and still doing it in the Northern Cali area, which is insane. I mean, Mr. Clarke, I know you've seen him at Bushido every now and again, if I'm not mistaken.
If I recall, isn't Jekyll's kind of the a maniacal clown type character?
Yes.
Yes.
It's been a while, but yes, I do remember.
So yeah, he's been around for a while, but it's great to see him still doing it big. I mean, we've seen guys like Gangrel get in ring.
Yes.
So I mean,
well, we've seen Gangrel and we've seen Mustafa Saeed. I mean, independent wrestling.
That was it. Yes, and it's like I was telling the fans before the match when I went outside to talk. We're letting everybody know that the noise is big out here in California, but it's like your superstars you cheer for on TV. This is where they start.
Well, that's where a lot of them come back to at the end of the day sometimes. And again, it's just not in Northern California, but what the Value Wrestling wants to bring to you is independent wrestling. And we hope to travel as we grow, and with your support, we can do that growth. And we hope to find many more. I mean, you know, if we have to hop down and go down to Southern California and check out the independent wrestling, see whether we got to jump on a train and head up to, you know, the Reno area where there seems to be a hotbed of wrestling. We'll jump on a train, go to Southern California. We'll go up to here in Washington and Oregon, where some big names. I mean, there's places we want to go eventually when we get there, but right now, yeah, we're highly focused in the Northern California area, somewhat in the Bay Area. We're going to touch on some of those places right here in our regional area. We're getting involved in these places, but what Value Wrestling wants to do is tell you that independent wrestling is important. We want to give independent wrestling a place to say it's alive, it's thriving, it's here. Don't turn your back on independent wrestling, because independent wrestling is like where you get to go home. Independent wrestling, in the words of Marty would say, is church. I mean, this is a place that is like going to church on Sunday, where you get to sit with people that, you know, you may not know these people, but you're all family the minute you walk into that door. It's like going to church or walking in that door. You're all accepted, no matter what your background, no matter where you may have came from. All that gets left at the door, because in those 2, 3, 4 hour shows, you're family and you're there for wrestling church.
No one knew who we were and embraced us with open arms, and that was beautiful.
No, and then the people that we have met at prior events as we're growing that have showed up, they're like, you guys are here. They're excited to see us, and that's awesome stuff, is when people are excited to be like, oh, you guys are here too. That's cool. You know, when people are coming over and talking to us and helping us grow this brand and become part of the Value Wrestling, we promise you we're going to bring it better. We're going to get things so out of here. But we want to give a place for independent wrestling. We want to give the independent wrestlers a place where they can use their voice. We may not be the largest yet. We're going to get there, I promise you. Don't doubt us. I mean, we got this man chopped by Matt Cardona. If you want to talk about manifest destiny, you know, we sit here and we talk game, and we will talk game, and I don't care if you like it or don't like it. Don't matter to me, because we're going to talk game, because we are going to be the best in this space. Believe it, and we'll do whatever it takes to get there. We are going to build this source, but we got Mr. Z chopped by Matt Cardona, and I mean, I would see where a lot of people might have doubted that could have happened, but we did it. And then we've gotten involved with Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling. We've gotten connected with Supreme Pro Wrestling. We know there was a little bump in the road at first, but we got it, and now we're here, and now we're touching it. We're touching this. We're bringing you independent wrestling. That's part of what we want to teach you, because there's something that's so different. You can go to a wrestling show for a Raw, a SmackDown, an NXT, a TNA, or that AEW if you go. I mean, I know it's small, but hey, anyways, we won't go down that road too hardcore. But there's still a different life in independent wrestling, and we want you to tell you independent wrestling's live. And we want, if you're an independent wrestling company and want us to come out and help promote your show and work with you, we want to do that. If you're an independent wrestler, reach out to us. We will sit down. We will do an interview. We will give you airtime, because we believe the independent wrestler is just as important as all the guys that we love each and every week on TV. Because you guys are you're part of what makes it great. I have been there and helped develop the talent of tomorrow, or you are the talent of tomorrow. That you just need that place. I mean, we can look at a fine example, and I hate bringing up other YouTube channels, but hey, I'm going to say it. If you're a fan of wrestling, if you haven't watched Grimm's Choice Show and that wrestling that they've done in Backyard Wrestling, some names that have come through there, and one of the biggest names that came through a YouTube channel in the wrestling ring was MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman was featured on there, and now he's a prominent thing. So if we can be a space for an independent wrestler to get his time, to get his interview, to get his message out, wrestling message.
Or hers.
Do what? Or hers, true.
Or hers.
There's no bias.
Yes.
I'm just saying any wrestler that wants to come on, anybody in the independent scene that wants to come out and get their wrestling message across, that wants to get their voice heard, that wants an opportunity to get on air. Even if you look at us and go, okay, you're not big, but hey, we're going to grow. We're going to be big. We're going to get there. But we'll give you that place. Let's work together. Let's help each other grow. That's what we love. That's what we really love about Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling, because they're brand new too. They're a baby company getting their feet under them. And we're here and we're teaming up with them, and we want to help them grow. They're going to help us grow. It's going to be amazing. SPW is bringing us to another level now. And thank you, Scoot, for the opportunity. And we won't ever not thank Sir Samurai because he's he's a big part of it too. And he welcomed us with open arms when we finally got there. He was even happy to finally see that we figured it out and got to join in on the fun.
I mean, Big Ugly was there to take us. He's a longtime SPW roster member, another legend in California. Real quick, Mr. Clarke, Sir Samurai could still fly. Just so you know, that front somersault over the top rope, he's still doing it.
That man was still in the air. But hey, I mean, talk about that four-way dance. Those boys flew all over the ring. Nova, Guadalupe, Torch, and Blaze. We were having such a hard time calling that match because it was such a fast and furious match. Let alone, we can't leave out the Flying Lion.
You want to talk X Division? Jeez,
yes, that should have been an X Division match right there.
That was at its peak.
Yes, and then you had the Flying Lion. I mean, that man was flying all over the place in there with Ulamide.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Oh, the Flying Lion. You got him and Marcus Lewis. He's won the Young Lions Cup. He's placed. I want to say he's made it to the semifinals twice in King of Indies. Solid dude. It just could not muscle the big man down.
And hopefully at Cruising for a Bruising, we're going to sit down and get some of these interviews. This time it just didn't work out. We're learning. It was our first time there with SPW. And as we are as a brand, we come in with the most honorable respect to a company. We never want to cross any lines. And until we know what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do, we always come in being very humble, even if it's SPW, and people might say, "Oh, it's just an independent company." Why? Because we have too much respect for this business. We grew up watching this business. Just because a lot of it was the TV, WWE, WCW, and some of those companies. We know that any wrestling company, even the indies, it's still a privilege to walk into their building and get to be a part of this show. I mean, it may not be the big times for some people who look at it, but for me, and I don't know for Mr. Z, but I think he would humbly agree. It's big time for us because we're getting into places that honestly, that is very humbling in a way to say, we're here, we're making waves, and we're welcomed, really welcomed. Which is always the one thing that I'll preach about professional wrestling. If you think professional wrestling's stupid, if you think it's garbage, if you think it's all fake and this and that, cool. But I'm going to tell you what, there is no other sport. You get a little bit with your team in football and baseball and these things somewhat. But when you go to wrestling, it's a family. It's just, you're automatically accepted in this family. Everything that's happening in the outside world is gone, and you're surrounded by everybody who's there for the same thing, and everybody's getting along.
I mean, the fans there, it was a sold-out crowd. There was not an empty seat in the spot. I mean, you can't help to notice just how much these fans enjoy going to their local promotion down the street from the house. It's a Sunday outing with the family after dinner. Hey, let's go to the show. Like Jim Cornette preached about it for the longest time. You always seen families at the local show down the street. You can't help but enjoy this.
It's an amazing time, and we're very humble. But hopefully we will be able to do more, and hopefully next time we'll get some of these guys get interviews. We kind of know the feel and the vibe of how things are going to work. Next time we're going to go a little bit earlier. We're going to sit down, and maybe once we get settled in, we'll hopefully go around and try to touch base with all these wrestlers to see if we can get time for quick interviews. And of course, we got some new equipment that finally came in, so hopefully all that'll come together and work for us. So I mean, some of it is just getting all these pieces together. And we love you and we thank you for your support. But I'm going to tell you, if you're in the Northern California area, if you're in the Bay Area, if you're Central Valley, if you're down in Fresno, if you're in Bakersfield, even if you're in Reno, if you're anywhere in this area and you want to see some great independent wrestling action, come out to Supreme Pro Wrestling. Come out August 31st. Tickets are $20. What can you do these days for just $20 anymore? You can barely eat out for one person for $20 anymore. So come down to Supreme. Come down to
Mr.
Supreme.
Clarke, he doesn't even know.
Come down to Supreme Pro Wrestling, Cruising for a Bruising, August 31st at the California Automobile Museum. That's the State Automobile Museum. So, I mean, not only that, you're going to get to see some great professional wrestling, but I bet you're going to get to see some awesome, classy, beautiful cars, some historical cars. That's going to be fun. That's located at 2200 Front Street in Sacramento, California. Go to Supreme Pro Wrestling on Facebook. Check that all out. Eventbrite.com where you can buy tickets. Tickets are $20 as it says right now. There hasn't been any card release, but if a card comes out, we will update you. We will let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, me and Mr. C are going to be there. We're going to be giving out stickers. Stickers. Come to our table when you come out. Tell us that you heard us talk about this. Come say hi. Get your stickers. We are giving them away. We want to get this going. We're going to have an awesome time in the old town.
Yeah, a lot of the wrestlers were taking them too, which is great.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, go ahead, take one, enjoy. Like, you're helping us, we help you. Let's scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. We're good.
What a fun time. What a great time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was no doubt in that one. I was very, very exhausted this morning.
So,
getting into everything else.
Exactly. So in the world of wrestling news, I mean, there's some things to talk about. There's some things interesting. We didn't have a weekly roundup, but I want to talk about the victim of wrestling. Victim. How do you guys feel? Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies when this man doesn't basically play the victim all the freaking time. Every time this man opens his mouth, they're doing this to me. I'm surprised he hasn't came out and said that Triple H violated him in some funky way. You know what I mean? Anyways, Tony Khan's still out here believing that AEW's contact tampering. I can't believe this man opens his mouth and says such stupid things.
No one's touching nothing. You know what it is? It's not our fault that these guys are reaching out to their friends and getting word to, old Hunter over there. Hey, how you doing?
maybe that's the issue. People aren't reaching out and touching Tony. Maybe that's his issue.
What is the Sons of Anarchy character? I want to say Otto.
Yes.
No, I think you're
reach
thinking.
out and touch someone.
I think it's Tig you're thinking of.
Oh no, even worse.
No. I'm talking about the guy who was in jail.
Okay, Otto. Yeah.
Who was
Yep, I was Otto.
Yeah, Otto Delaney. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of Aaron. Good show. I liked it. You don't have.
Yeah, hell of a
you
show.
know.
I still watch it.
Oh, I watched it.
Tony Khan
I own
acts.
it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tony Khan acts like he's Otto. Like something's happening every morning. There's some kind of contract tampering. There's always this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, dude, first of all, on one hand, yes, WWE it's been basically proven over the years they do.
That's all this time.
Contract tampering. Exactly. So instead of bitching about it, what are you going to do about it? And if there's nothing to be done, how about go about your business and try to grow your business the best way you can?
Tony, lay off the snow, please. Lay off the snow.
I can't let you do that to Otto Delaney. I thought Otto Delaney was a great character, and of course that was played by Kurt Sutter, the writer of Sons of Anarchy. If Tony Khan is anybody in Sons of Anarchy, he's the guy that had all his fingers cut off by the Chinese. What was his name?
Oh,
there was a very specific reason, though, why I was using Otto.
I know why you got there, but I have to take that back and be like, no, Tony Khan can't
don't
be.
Don't disrespect Otto.
Yeah. Well, you got to love Kurt Sutter, and Otto was still, for what he wasn't, the best of characters, but the way it all went down, you're still kind of like, oh, I can't hate on Otto and compare him to, and Tony Khan's he didn't do any, Clay Morrow stuff, but if anybody, he was more of, what was the dude's name? Oh boy.
You're talking about the character that had a chronic
yes, the
below
chronic,
the belt problem?
Yes. He had all his fingers cut off, but his little, stubbies. That or he was
No, that's not him.
Borowski.
Hold
I
on.
mean, he could have been played by Borowski, if anything, too.
Oh no!
The crooked
no.
cop, the dirty cop. Of course, there were several dirty cops in that show
I
at
know,
different times.
Oh yeah. I'm
Uh,
trying to find out who we're
Hey,
looking
Jack Perry could
for.
have
I'm
played
trying to find the
Half-Sack.
perfect one. Oh no!
Chucky! Tony Khan is the Chucky
Yes,
of
there you
Sands
go,
of Anarchy.
Chucky.
There we go. I'm just tired of hearing this character. Everything. Oh, always. I'm a victim. They're making me a victim. Boo-hoo. Do something about it. Quit talking about it.
Let me. Can I, if I could break away from the joyful conversation of Uncle Tony, Zack Sabre Jr., winner of the G1 this year,
Yes, ladies and
going
gentlemen.
on to Wrestle Kingdom.
If you want to find out about all those details tomorrow on Patreon, so go sign up for the free Patreon. You can learn that all about that on the New Japan Rebound podcast. Wednesdays, that'll be up on YouTube. You can learn about who Zack Sabre Jr. beat and how he became the G1 Climax winner, which gives him a title shot at the IWGP champion. Win, Mr. Z?
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, so Wrestle Kingdom
That's
looking
January
good because
It's gonna be Wrestle Kingdom. But there's also rumors that it ain't gonna be at Wrestle Kingdom. It's gonna be before October.
Really?
What's the event in October?
Oh, Sapporo.
we could be seeing Zack Sabre Jr. versus Naito right now. Isn't that correct? That's your
Yes, that's right now. Naito, who did not place very high in the G1 this year, and everyone's kind of shocked. They're like, okay, so was he not trying to win it, or was he just in there as filler?
So on Sunday, next Sunday, we don't have anything to do. So when we do the weekly roundup, we will do the weekly roundup. Never mind. I take that back. I got to rewind that. Ladies and gentlemen, sometime later this week, we will give you our review and predictions of All In. That comes up on Saturday, 25th, right?
Yep.
Sneeze, yes.
Wait, but
No,
that's Sunday.
Sunday.
Who's
Sunday the 25th. And then, okay, so there'll be no weekly roundup on Sunday because we'll be doing we'll be doing the AEW All In post-show review. And then, sometime, maybe Sunday, we'll do a show where we do our thoughts and predictions for All In. And then somewhere during the week next week, we'll do our Bash of Berlin pre-prediction and coverage to get you all ready for that. And we will see when the Bash of Berlin comes on and time restraints. There may not be a Bash of Berlin post-show review. That may happen Sunday, September 1st on the weekly roundup then, because, again, on August 31st, Bash of Berlin's going to be in the morning. We're going to watch that. Me and Mr. Z are going to chill, watch that for sure. Have a nice little party, and then that afternoon, we got to be up in Sacramento at 5 p.m. We're probably going to try and get there around 3:30, so we have plenty of time to really set up, check audio, do some streams with Mr. Clarke, and see if we can get this audio issue a little more down packed so we can get the beautiful audio. So when we are talking about what's going on, you can definitely hear us. So we're going to be doing that. So it's going to be a busy Saturday, next Saturday, the 31st, not this Saturday. But we got All In. We got Bash of Berlin. Then we run around, and it's going to be All Out. And, yeah. And
all out of what? Money?
That's what's going to happen to Tony Khan. But how do you feel about All In next year, 2025, being in Texas at Globe Life Stadium? Not Arlington Stadium, not the big stadium where WrestleMania was put on, but the baseball stadium where the Texas Rangers play. You're World Series champions right now, which kind of hurts me to say. But,
yes.
we'll let that exist.
Now, here's my thing. How many tarped off areas are they going to have?
Well, I just don't know. And then Tony Khan's like, well, we're going to go back to London for All In the next year. But they're not even selling the tickets for them. I don't know. It is what it is.
No, we need to see Triple H go to Wembley and show them how it's done.
Oh, they'll be doing that for WrestleMania very, very soon. We just don't know when yet.
Yeah.
You know what the other big...
everything but official.
Yeah, we just don't have a date yet. You hear the other big news for today?
That'll be the one time we'll...
Go
ahead.
No, finish up because I'm going to change subject. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say that'll be the one time that'll be the one time that WWE will go back to what it once was when we were kids, and you couldn't get a ticket unless you were there the night before waiting in line to get a ticket. That's going to sell it that fast.
Anyways, the big news coming out today: somebody's contract is about to expire in September, unless they resign her. AEW's Saraya, his contract is about to end. Doesn't look like they're renewing her at this point in time. What do we think? I hear a lot of the chitter chatter that they think that Triple H should go back out and get Saraya and bring her back and make her, Paige again, make Paige great again. We'll still coin a phrase here. We'll make Paige great again. I would not be mad if she went back to WWE as Paige. Because at least Triple H can control her and keep her in the control, and we won't get all the crap that she gives off. Over here in AEW, this is what everybody talks about. Tony Khan lets all these people run Rockshaw, lets them say whatever they want. You never see this in WWE. There are guidelines within WWE policy. It's not just a Triple H thing, but it's the company as a whole that's like, hey, we don't do this stuff. We don't, completely run our mouths and make ourselves look stupid. There's a little more control to the chaos.
AEW is a PR nightmare.
Oh yeah, I know.
And from what we've seen, and Redacted's era, you have very limited intel you need to put on the Twitterverse, and Triple H has upheld that since then. So I mean, there's filters that need to be plugged into this.
You don't need to go out there and say when you're in a public spotlight. And Saraya has not helped herself in her public spotlight. And I don't care if she wants to come out and go, it's a part of my gimmick. I'm a heel. I'm like, no, you could be a heel and play it, but what you say sometimes is ridiculousness.
How about what she's done and then turn around and does the complete opposite the next week? No touchy.
Well, for all we know, the same day.
There you go, too.
But yeah, I mean, if she goes back to WWE, fine. I think if Tony Khan decides to re-sign her, all she's there is for money at this point. Because where's this women's revolution in wrestling she promised to bring to AEW? I mean, she's like bottom of the card in that company. I mean, she's barely something. They're only remembering.
That's not working for her, brother.
They're only remembering her right now, or she's getting a little spotlighted attention because they're going to Wimbledon, and I don't even know if she's gonna have a match on the card. And of course, AEW is in hot water because we don't know where Daniel Garcia or Ricky Starks are. It looks like they're about to walk out the door. Wardlow's contract looks like he's coming up, and there seems to be a lot of worry about Wardlow not coming back to AEW, which probably would be the best thing for him. That's three main big names that AEW could be losing. We got All In where people are fighting back and forth, and Dax Harwood. I love FTR, but I'm losing a lot of respect because Dax Harwood's out here on the internet screaming and hooping when fans don't like his matches, or like, oh, why are we doing this shit again? Oh, we gave you a 30-minute match. We're the best. Da 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 da. It's like, yeah, but why do I need to have a triple threat?
Not anymore. You were at one.
And my counterparts won't even tell you the other names that they can think
Tampon
of.
Bucks?
Because they know I'm right in the sentiment of what I'm saying. There's other tag teams. I get that. There's other tag teams, but the ones that are most prominent are those three. And then again, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because you have Dustin Rhodes now a double champion as he's part of the trios, Ring of Honor trios champions with the Von Erich boys. And then he's a tag team champion now with Ring of Honor. They took the Ring of Honor tag team titles off of David and Bennett, which were part of some group. I forget what group they were part of. Probably not
Undisputed
important.
Kingdom.
Yeah, so they were not important. No, I knew the name of their group. I just don't care.
And real quick, I just pulled up the card for All In. So just let me. We asked if Saraya had a damn match. She does not. Those spots are taken by Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Mercedes Moné, and Dr. Britt Baker.
Well, she hasn't had one yet. This is going to All In. I'm sure we're going to get.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen on.
Yeah,
0 hour
this week. Yeah, last minute. We still have too much time.
Oh no! How many hours we got to watch this? 6, 7?
I don't know. If it runs over the time we need to leave, then I guess it's
Mr. Clarke's gonna need caffeine.
Hey, if Mr. Clarke
we gotta go.
If Mr. Clarke passes out and doesn't watch it, then I guess we don't review it. Hey, you forgot Chris Statlander's going to team up with Stokely Hathaway to take on Will Nightingale and Ishii. Your boy Ishii is going to team up with Will Nightingale to take on Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. How's that make you feel? Ishii.
Or Ishii.
Then you got timeless
That
Tony
poor
Storm
man.
against the glamour Mariah May. This is where Beth
Can't forget
Phoenix.
the FTW title. Chris Jericho and Hook.
Is this where Beth Phoenix
the
is
Hi
going
50
guys,
millionth time.
it's for the world title. Hi guys.
Is this where Beth Phoenix shows up to show Glamazilla against the Glamour? I don't know. Anyways, MJF and Will Ospreay will fight for the AEW American/International Championship in their second match. Jack Perry, with his new AEW TNT Championship, will be taking on Darby Allin in a coffin match. If you haven't been paying attention, Jack Perry's been putting people in a body bag thinking he's the Undertaker 2.0. This is the only time I want to see the Undertaker show up on AEW TV to choke slam him, put him in a body bag, and take him away and throw him in the river. But Jack Perry, Darby Allin in a coffin match now.
Hold on. Do you see that he made his belt? Like I don't understand.
You not hear what I said? He made his own belt, his own TNT title.
No, I didn't hear that. You cut out.
Okay. Yeah, he made his own belt.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks from Timu with Camille will be taking on Britt Baker for the TBS title. We have the Casino Gauntlet match, which is reported may be the day that we see Bobby Lashley debut. We have a Casino Gauntlet match. The winner of that will get a title shot at the AEW Championship at All Out. Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, will have Big Bill, the Redwood, and the Bad Apple Brian Keith at ringside. And he will take on Hook for the FTW Championship. In a three-way tag team match, you have the Young Bucks taking on the FTR, taking on the Acclaim for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And then in a three-way ladder match for the AEW Trios titles, you're going to have the Patriarchy of Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne taking on the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. The House of Black versus Malachi Black versus Brody King and Buddy Matthews versus a wild card winner. So it's a four-way ladder match. So there's going to be another team in the Trios match that was not on the card yet. So it's going to be a four-way, three-man. I don't even know how to say that. What is that? A four-way, three-man tag ladder match? Talk about trying to get everybody on the card.
This is why people lose interest. The crowd gets burnt out.
And I'm sure there's still more matches to come. So get ready for it. Inject it, swallow it, eat it whole, love it. Say, please, Tony, give me more. That's what you have to look forward to. And have to empty Wembley Stadium. At least they don't have to worry about CM Punk beating the shit out of Jack Perry. And Tony Khan shouldn't have to fear for his life.
Yeah.
Well, unless David Finlay shows up, then he might be afraid of his life.
That's because David Finlay wants to murk. He don't want to play with him. He just wants to hurt this man, which is fine with me. By all means, the Rebel, do what you need to do.
Anyway, yeah. So Saraya's contract's up. Bobby Lashley's out of WWE, maybe on his way. It was reported that Lashley or MVP have been into the patent office to claim the registration office to register the name Hurt Syndicate. So,
okay,
a lot of rumors and speculation.
That's fine.
About that.
Both of them have been reached out by Josh Barnett, so we'll be seeing them at Bloodsport at some point.
Maybe.
Which will be great.
Maybe.
Well, MVP for sure.
Well, MVP already went there. Already showed up.
Really?
Yes, he was at the last card.
He showed up, and that match that one's being confirmed. Him and Barnett.
Well,
that's confirmed.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but he did show up to confront Barnett at the last Bloodsport. He was on that last Bloodsport.
Either way, I can't wait for that one. Just Barnett in there with anybody is good. It would be a good, solid fight.
Big news with WWE. They have now what looks like to be a working partnership with AAA and Conan.
Wow.
So Tony Khan maybe
CMLL is going to work with AEW.
Yeah.
And on top of that, AAA is definitely the sports entertainment version in Lucha Libre.
Yes.
So it makes perfect sense.
And they had a big event.
Can we get Marty Scurll back in the States?
Oh no. Does he have the does he have the ability to draw these days?
Depends on what his reputation is still.
Yeah.
That's true. That's why I was wondering, can we? But I mean, he has a good, upstanding relationship with AAA, so we'll see.
Anyways,
and again, so does Alberto El Patron. So
he's their new champion too.
The current mega weight champion.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know.
He beat Nick Nemeth.
We know.
Who brought JBL to the ringside, and JBL and Conan both turned heel, I guess, on Nick Nemeth that night to help out that throne.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I know what I'm watching later.
And JBL's still under a WWE Legends deal.
Make your money.
It's outside the U.S., so I mean,
They paid him in tequila and beer.
Big rumors. There's big rumors also now that Nick Nemeth may be showing up on NXT too.
Okay. No, not a bad thing at all.
Anyways, anything else
I'm
we
all
want
for
to
it.
talk about tonight, gentlemen?
It's party. I think that's it.
All right. Well, we thank you for being here. This was originally your Raw review. It jumped into some other stuff. We've had it on. We've talked. We've had a good old time. Luckily, we got out of here without any Mr. Almighty tonight, and everything is good. Yes.
Wherever the other guy's at.
The master.
Well, I was talking about Marty. I'm not really worried.
I know.
I'm not worried about the Chaos Master. He must have decided to go touch grass tonight.
Good.
He bug you that much.
It's okay.
When you can't, you know I'm a grammar Nazi, so if you can't even spell right, it irritates me. On top of that, like, dude, the arguments you make are so juvenile. It's like, if you really hate us that much, what are you doing on our show? Or in our comments?
Getting himself over.
Yeah,
getting himself over.
No one knows what he looks like, so how's he getting over?
Yeah, well,
he's getting airtime.
Well,
at least his name.
You can't get wrong with that. Say his
All right,
name.
ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is on Patreon, the New Japan
Shut
Pro
it,
Wrestling.
Miguel. Shut it.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to give Mr. Clarke any more of the. I mean, I've never seen Mr. Clarke kind of almost freeze up. Like, you put Marty on the screen with him, and he doesn't know where to go anymore.
It's all right. We'll give you a break. It's okay.
New Japan Rebound Podcast tomorrow on Patreon. Go sign up for Patreon. It's free still. And then, of course, it'll be on the YouTube on Wednesdays. Check in the morning at some time, hopefully, or afternoon. We will have This Date in Wrestling History up on the channel. We will be back Friday for your SmackDown Live post-show review. Wednesdays, J&A I Bought with and Martin We Trust. We'll have a video out, hopefully.
Martin We Trust.
On Wednesdays. Saturday, maybe our post-show or our pre-show for All In. Sunday will be All In post-show after that show goes off the air, if we all haven't died from boredom.
The eternal sleep.
Now that show's probably going to start at 10 a.m. and it'll probably be dinner time by the time it goes off air. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
The dread.
All right. Gentlemen, tell them all good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks.
This is the value